Hello guys, what's up? So this is the third tutorial in my Eagle based PCB design tutorial series. So in the last tutorial we made a basic schematic of a potential divider in our Eagle schematic by right clicking it and saying a new schematic and creating all the schematics. So these schematics were created using the libraries from here. They were added and then they were connected using the wires. By using the junctions, we ensured that all the connections are intact and all the nets are connected as per our requirements. By clicking the smash button, we simply rotated these. We simply divided these names with my components and switched it as per my wish locations. By doing the right click of mouse, I simply rotated these values. But we can use this cursor in order to move our symbols. So suppose by clicking this I can move it. By using this button we can copy it. So suppose I click this, so I can just click it and I can copy it. Again I click it, I can copy it. So until and unless I remove this icon, I can copy it multiple times. Apart from that, this button is used to delete it. Suppose I click this, I can delete this. Okay, let's get back to whatever it was by clicking Ctrl Z. We can use this text and write, say, potential divider. Okay, so let us just write it over here. So these circles and these things are not so much necessary in schematics, and regarding these things I'll be talking as when we do a complex circuit at the end. At that time I'll be explaining some of the more deep tools which are used in Eagle. Okay, so once this is done, it is always good to check the errors. So we see that this has no value or no value. Some of the warnings are really not needed because obviously the connector won't have any value. So you can neglect those things. Make sure that you don't have any errors. So this error is something which can be dangerous. All right, so let us enter into the schematic window. So by Eagle has this facility that by simply clicking this button, so this is basically switching, or we say that forward and backward annotations in terms of the Eagle dictionary. So by clicking this board will the netlist of this board will be transferred automatically to layout. So we can say create from schematics, let's say yes. So this is our default window for the layouts. Now this is the frame which they have made it, but they are generally not required. So what you can do is either you delete them or you can simply move them and make them a small one. Okay, so let's make this small PCB. Okay, again these features remains the same, the delete, move, copy and all those things, it remains the same as per the schematic window. So I want to move this inside this, so let's move it over here. So while placing it, you see that this is having quite a glitch type of thing, that is it's taking long distances in order to move. So in order to take care of that, let's reduce the resolution of the screen. So for that, what we can do, just go to grid. So we'll choose as our unit, and size we can say at 0.01. It is the most recommended value for these things. Okay, so let's say okay. So now you can see that it's moving smoothly, as against previously it was stepping with some values, right? So let's place these components suitably. So while placing this, you need to take care of proper orientation of this nets. So these yellow lines show that these nets are connected. Now again, by right clicking I can rotate it as much as I want. Now I'll place it such that these nets are as easy to connect as possible, and we do not have to make much cross connection. So I make them in such a way. Always try to maintain some tolerance between the two components, because while soldering you will be feeling difficult in order to do it. So I'll be placing it such that everything becomes easy to make the layout. So by doing this continuous rotations, okay, so if I, so there are two options over here. I can place it over here or I can place it over here. If I place it over here, this area becomes completely empty, and it is wasting the board as well as money. So what you can do is you can simply place it over here, so the board size drastically reduces to this much, making it a very small and optimized board. Okay, so now it's since the positioning of the components are done or placement of the components are done, let's begin with the routing. So in order to do the routing, uh, you may be confused with this. So some of the people start using this wire and start doing the routing. So that's not the proper way. So you need to choose this button, which is route. So this, as soon as this route, basically it traces these yellow lines. So as soon as I click this and I click suppose this point, so what it does is it carries a blue line. So this blue line shows the bottom side of the PCB and red line shows the top of PCB. So as soon as I reach over here, I'll again click. It will make some sound or any type of sound in your laptop or PC, saying that your connection is correct and it's completed. Now I want to switch between top and bottom, then I can do it using this window. So if I click top, then it will create red lines, but presently I don't want, I just want bottom. So again I'll now this is going over here. According to PCB rules, you should not make a straight path towards the point, so it's always better to use different bends. So generally a 45-degree bend is always what is recommended for optimized current flow. So either you can click over here, okay, if I click over here it will automatically create it, or you can simply use your right click from the mouse. So by clicking it, let's reach to this point. Okay, so the sound is made, that means it's completed, the net is completed. Okay, so one more function which I want to tell over here is this. So this is the rat nest. What it does is that if suppose you have hundreds and hundreds of component on your board and you have made the connection, by clicking this rat nest, what it does is it optimizes the path for you by reducing the nets as per your circuit diagram connections. So as soon as I click this, okay, since it has almost no connections, so that's why you would not be observing over here, but if it's a huge connection at the time, you would be observing the use of this rat nest. So maybe in the final video wherein we'll be doing a big project, so at that time I'll be showing you the feature of this rat nest. Okay, so now let's complete this board. Always make sure you have a 45-degree path, and anytime you can press Ctrl Z and return back to its original state. Alright, so the PCB is almost completed. You can always pass your lines from these between lines. So suppose I want to connect this, and I may not I want to connect these two things, but I'm not getting a path from here. So what I can do is I can come from here and enter into this, because ultimately you need to do the connections. Always maintain a proper tolerance between the pads and wires. So these are called pads and these are the wires. So you should always maintain a good tolerance between them in order to properly make the PCB, so that when it goes into fabrication, your wires should not be shorted to the line. So let's get back to its original state. Okay, now once the PCB is made, I want to do some labeling, like I want to write the name. So let's say potential divider. So I press OK. Now this one looks mirror image, right? So the mirror image is because it is printing towards the bottom. So this is one of the important catch which you need to remember, that the bottom is always a mirror image and top is the real image. So whenever you give it for printing, you should always make sure your bottom is a mirror image. So I don't want it to be printed in bottom, so by clicking this, now this is a name, right? So we want to a name in top, so T name means top name. So let us put it over here. But it's I want to give it a name, my name of the PCB. So let's say I'll write my name. So let's write it over here. Now these two are looking quite big, so let's make it small. So right click this, so just go into size, so let's say 0.44. Okay, it's become too small anyways, but you understood it, right? Okay, let's make it 1. So 1 would be good enough. So the name should be always big. Okay, so let's make it big in order to look decent. Oh, it's intersecting. Okay, all right, let's arrange it properly. All right, so the PCB is done. So this is your first step which you need to do. I always recommend that when you make your first PCB, don't think about size. You always think about making it correct. So don't worry about the size when you are making your first PCB. Right, so here I end my third video on PCB design. We have completed the layouts. In the next video I'll be talking about how to convert this layout into CAM, which can be given for processing for fabrication. Thank you guys.